Page 53, Calypso Carnival. On page 52, they're talking about the key of D major. I don't have anything to talk about it. If you can do the scales in the primary chords, you got it as far as I'm concerned. I see they're talking about tetrachords. I hate tetrachords. When I was little, learning to play back a long time ago, my teacher used the John Thompson Method Book series. Now, it's a wonderful series. They got some wonderful pieces in it. But they taught scales using tetrachords. And it screwed me up. Totally messed me up. Because it's misleading on how scales are played. A tetra means four. A tetrachord is a four-note chord. So what they do, because of scale, let's do C major. C to C. 1, 2, 3. There's 8 notes involved. So that's 2 tetrachords. You don't use the thumbs. And it works out very nicely. You can play any chord using tetrachords. 2 tetrachords. And they're useless as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely useless. But that's what they're talking about on tetrachords. Here, they're talking about the whole steps and half steps. We already went over the pattern of whole steps and half steps that make up a major scale. I don't need tetrachords to tell me that. So you have fun with it if you want. If you like it, more power to you. And I don't talk tetrachords too much. However, I do want to talk about this Calypso Carnival thingy a little bit, starting with the right hand. 8th notes, and they're all staccato. Now on this one, we're going to play the 8th notes even. We're not going to swing them, so it's here. Start with 2nd finger. And it helps if you can play the scale, because in the second line on that first measure, that is a scale. D major scale. Right? One of the reasons knowing the scales helps, because you'll run across it in a piece and, oh, okay. Same thing in the last line. Now, left hand, it's just staccato. The whole thing staccato. Because there's a note in the first line on the last measure, both hands staccato throughout. Obviously there's no pedal, so it's just a very light, fun piece to play. Dynamic wise, look at them. At the beginning, MF-P, which means the first time you play it, it's MF or mezzo forte, medium loud. Then when you repeat it, because there's a first and second ending at the bottom, when you repeat it, you play it soft. That part. But when you get to the end of the first line, there's a forte. That is both times. Because a dynamic only applies to that point until you get a new dynamic. So the forte erases that. Then on the third line, it tells you again MF-P. So now you can back to that. And then another forte. And then a fortissimo on the second ending. 2 Fs. Keep in mind, 2 Fs is not twice as loud as F. F is forte or loud. 2 Fs is fortissimo or very loud. It's just a little louder than loud, because we can get louder than this. So don't try and double your volume. It doesn't work that way. Now that note at the end of the first line about both hands staccato, it's a little misleading because everything is not staccato. Not clear what isn't. If you have a situation like in that measure, in the right hand you have 2 8th notes tied together, that's not staccato. Hold that out a full beat. So it's here. Now hang on to that one. And every other time that happens, it happens in each line, on the next 2 lines, hold that out. Also at the bottom, on the last ending, those are not necessarily staccato either. That last note, hold that out a full count. They're accented too. Let's try this out and see what happens. 4/4 time with a pickup beat. I'll give us 3 counts and we'll try it. Here, here. Okay. 1 and ready and go and. repeat. I don't know if there's any recordings of this available or not. I'll do it like this, I think.